Hey, what's going on, guys? Adrian John here, and today we're going to be going over part 2 of my Combat Style mod guide series, and today we're going to be covering Warmind Cells. But before we jump into this guide, I ask if you want to keep up to date on all Destiny 2 news, information, leaks, tutorials, and more, that you go and subscribe to my channel. Alright, so let's jump into it. Now, just like my Charge with Light guide video, I would like to preface this saying that the Warmind Cell mods are currently only acquirable through Banshee 44, aka the Gunsmith in the Tower. So if you're missing some mods, you're just gonna have to log in every day, go to the Gunsmith in the Tower, and see if he's selling one that you don't have. If you don't have it, go ahead and buy it. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about how do we get Warmind Cells to spawn in. Well, unlike a Charge with Light where you need to have certain mods equipped, Warmind Cells, you don't actually need any mods equipped to spawn them in. When it comes to Warmind Cells, at the end of the day, all you pretty much need is an Ikelos or 7 Seraph weapon. Now, at the moment, I'm pretty sure all of these 7 Seraph weapons, as well as the Ikelos SMG and the Ikelos Sniper, are only acquirable through the World Drop engrams. However, I'm pretty sure you can acquire the Ikelos Shotgun from the Prophecy Dungeon. But at the end of the day, I don't think that really matters, because if I had to personally choose the best Ikelos or Seraph weapon to choose to make Warmind Cells, I would have to say it's the Ikelos SMG. However, what you personally want to use is up to you. Now, just like the Charge with Light mods, Armor Affinity affects what type of Warmind Cell mods you have access to. Now, while the Charge with Light mods they sort of had their own quirks with the armor element affinities, the Warmind Cell mods don't really have a special quirk with each affinity, but they do have a certain theming with each one. So starting off with the Void Affinity Warmind Cell mods, I'd have to say the total theme here is that they're all about turning your Warmind Cells from weapons to tools. Normally with a Warmind Cell, you'd spawn it in by getting kills with your Ikelos or 7 Seraph weapon, and then you destroy the Warmind Cell by shooting it, aka using it like a weapon. However, what these Void mods do is they basically turn your Warmind Cells into tools. For example, the Cellular Suppression mod makes it so your Warmind Cells take less damage. However, they will suppress your enemies. Or you can equip the Power Rasputin mod, which makes it so you gain a bonus to weapon damage to enemies that are near your Warmind Cell. Again, the Void ones are all about being a tool rather than a weapon. Then the Solar Warmind Cells are all about enhancing the destruction of your Warmind Cells. For example, there's the Wrath of Rasputin mod, which makes it so Solar Splash damage final blows have a chance to create Warmind Cells, and then you can combine this with the Rage of the Warmind Cell mod, which adds an additional solar damage to the explosion of your Warmind Cells that you destroy, allowing you to increase your Warmind Cell production, thus increasing your destructibility. Then lastly, with the Arc Warmind Cell mods, they're pretty much all about collecting Warmind Cells to gain enhancements. For example, the Modular Lightning Warmind Cell mod makes it so when collecting a Warmind Cell, you create a burst of Chaining Arc energy. And then there's also the Sheltering Energy Warmind Cell mod, which makes it so when collecting a Warmind Cell, you get granted an Overshield. Yes, all these collection type perks do stack. Lastly, before we move on to showing you some builds that I have made, I just would like to note that each armor affinity does come with their own way of creating Charge with Light while using Warmind Cells. So if you want to create a hybrid build between Warmind Cells and Charge with Light, you can do that. Also, there's going to be one Warmind Cell mod that's not tied to any affinity called Global Reach, and I highly recommend putting this mod in any protection or destruction based build, because it does essentially enhance your Warmind Cells, so that way they're able to reach more targets. With all that information out of the way, you should have everything you need to know to formulate your own Warmind Cell builds. However, if you still feel overwhelmed by the mods, I'm going to go ahead and go over 2 two personal Warmind Cell builds that I like to use. I also forgot to mention this in my previous combat style mod guide video, but when it comes to me creating my own builds, you don't have to exactly create it one-to-one for it to work exactly the same. What I mean by that is you can have the mod that I have on my helmet, you can have that on your boots, and it will still work exactly the same. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into my first build here, which is going to be about mass destruction. So the first mod we're going to be using here is Global Reach, so that way we can reach the most amount of targets. Then for our second Warmind Cell mod, we're going to have Fire Team Medic, which makes it so when destroying a Warmind Cell, we create a burst of healing for not only us, but our allies. So that way we can run and gun as much as possible. Then for our third mod, we're going to be running Wrath of Rasputin, so that way Solar Splash damage has a chance to create Warmind Cells. Then for our fourth mod, we're going to be running Rage of the Warmind, which adds an additional solar damage to the explosion of Warmind Cells, so that way we could go ahead and chain the Warmind Cells. Then lastly, for our fifth Warmind Cell mod, we're going to have Burning Cells, that way when we destroy a Warmind Cell, it creates a burst of solar energy that causes enemies to burn for several seconds. Again, getting out that maximum destruction, as well as it creates more opportunities to create even more Warmind Cells. Alright, so now I'm here in-game in a lost sector, and let's see if we can get this going. See if we can get a Warmind Cell to pop up here. Come on. There we go. We're gonna shoot it. Oh, look at that. Almost cleared out this entire room, and we got another Warmind Cell. Boom. Look at that. More Warmind Cells. One. Boom. Oh my god, look at that. We're clearing out this entire room. Let's go and get a Warmind Cell here. Boom. Killed them all. Warmind Cells are absolutely crazy. Oh, look at that. We got another one. Boom. Oh my god. We are just causing maximum amount of damage here. Let's go and throw a solar nade. See if we get a Warmind Cell. No. We didn't get any more of it to spawn. But this lost sector is almost 100% cleared out. We just gotta kill a boss, but look at that ad clear potential. Is absolutely amazing. Anyways, moving on, let's go ahead and break down our second Warmind Cell build, which is all about staying alive. So for our first mod here, we got Global Reach again, so that way we can increase the potency of our staying alive build. For our second mod here, we're going to be running Warmind's Longevity, so that way Warmind Cells we create last longer. Then for our third mod, we're going to be running Cellular Suppression, so that way when we damage a Warmind Cell, it suppresses all of the enemies in the vicinity. Then for our fourth Warmind Cell mod, we're going to be running Fire Team Medic, so that way if we end up getting caught up in a sticky situation and we go next to a Warmind Cell and destroy it, we'll actually get a burst of health. And then lastly, for our fifth Warmind Cell mod, we're going to be running Warmind's Protection, so that way we take reduced damage from enemies that are near our Warmind Cells. And here, once again, we are in game to show off this Warmind Cell build here. So, it gets a Warmind Cell. Come on. This dude. Yeah, there we go. So I can see they're yellow. That means we're going to take reduced damage from them. We hit them. Look at that. Now he's suppressed. Okay, we got more rolling up. We suppress them again. This mod is absolutely insane. Good, suppress again. I'm taking some damage. Boom, I destroy it. Not only does it kill all the enemies in the vicinity, we get some healing. Oh, look at that. We got another Warmind Cell. I'm getting a little concerned. We're suppressing them. Now, obviously, if you shoot it too much, it does end up getting destroyed. But yeah, if you're doing a solo dungeon or something, this should be pretty helpful for staying alive. However, I don't think I would recommend it for that. I think I'd still think the Charge with Light build I showed yesterday is probably a little bit better, even though this one's a little bit more fun. But yeah, with that being said, this was Asher and John. That pretty much wraps up the video for here. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over the final set of combat style mods, that being the Elemental Wells. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe to stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.